Hello kids, in the last video we learned about rises of spirit of nationalism, partition of Bengal and Swadeshi movement. Now we are going to learn about the Revolt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre and non-cooperation movement. The Simon Commission, the Quiet Indian movement, India is free, the civil disobedience movement, Dhandi march, etc. Okay? So see here, the British started imposing newer laws in order to suppress the rebel Indians. The Revolt Act was passed by the British in 1919 and gave them power to send anyone to jail without a fair trial. The people strongly opposed this act, calling it is the Black Act on 13th April 1919. More than 10,000 men, women, children had assembled at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar to oppose the Revolt Act in a peaceful manner. To foil the demonstration, General Dyer and his soldiers blocked the only entrance and without any warning opened fire on the crowd, killing thousands of innocent, unarmed people. This deceitful and miraculous massacre shocked the Indian people across the country. The Revolt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, the British started imposing newer laws in order to suppress the rebel Indians. The Revolt Act was passed by British in 1919 and gave them power to send anyone to jail without a fair trial. The people strongly opposed the act. The people strongly opposed the Revolt Act and called it as a Black Act. On 13th April 1919, the people opposed the Revolt Act on 13th April 1919. More than 10,000 men, women, children assembled in Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar to oppose the Revolt Act in peaceful manner. But what happened, kids? To foil the demonstration, General Dyer and his soldiers blocked the entrance and without any warning. When all people gathered in Jallianwala Bagh to oppose the Revolt Act on 13th April 1919, that time General Dyer and his all soldiers blocked the entrance without warning to the people, opened the fire on crowd, killing thousands of innocent unarmed peoples. This deceitful and merciless massacre shocked the Indian people across the country. This killing of thousands of innocent unarmed people when General Dyer and his soldier blocked the only entrance and without warning. When they opened firing on the crowd, killing of thousands of innocent unarmed people. This deceitful and merciless massacre shocked the Indian people across the country. Understand, kids, what happened in the Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Okay, now the non-cooperation movement. After the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Gandhiji launched the non-cooperation movement in September 1920 and asked the people to adopt the Swadeshi movement. Indians boycotted foreign goods. Those working in government offices resigned. The lawyers boycotted courts, and the teachers and children boycotted British-run schools and colleges. Vallabhbhai Patel, C. Rajagopalachari, Pandit Motilal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru left their legal practice and they started working with Indian National Congress. Gurudeva Rabindranath Tagore even returned to the prestigious kinghood bestowed upon him by the British in 1950. Though Subhash Chandra Bose had been elected president of INC twice earlier, he parted away and went to Japan to form an army of 40,000 Indian soldiers and called it Azad Hind Fauj or the Indian National Army. The non-cooperation movement shocked the British by its sheer strength. However, in February 1922, an angry mob of people set a police station on fire in Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh, killing 22 policemen. This violent behavior of the people greatly disturbed the Gandhiji and he called the call of the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement. After the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Gandhiji launched the non-cooperation movement in September 1920 and asked the people to adopt the Swadeshi movements. Indian boycott foreign goods. Those working in government offices resigned. Lawyers boycott courts, teachers, children boycotted British-run schools and colleges. Vallabhbhai Patel, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, C. Rajagopalachari, Pandit Motilal, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru left their legal practices and started working with the Indian National Congress. Gurudeva Rabindranath Tagore even returned to the prestigious kinghood bestowed upon him by the British in 1915. Though Subhash Chandra Bose had been elected president of INC twice earlier, he parted way and went to Japan to form an army of 40,000 Indian soldiers and called it Azad Hind Fauj or the Indian National Army. The non-cooperation movement shocked the British by its sheer strength. However, in February 1920, an angry mob of people set a police station on fire in Chaura in Uttar Pradesh, killing 22 policemen. This violent behavior of the people greatly disturbed the Gandhiji and called off the non-cooperation movement. Understood, kids? Now next we will see the Simon Commission. In 1928, the British government appointed the Simon Commission to review the law and order administration of British in India and suggested new reforms. The commission did not include any Indian delegates and this angered the people greatly. It was welcomed by the angry Indians with the black flags and the slogans of Simon Go Back. Sadly, Lala Lajpat Rai was severely injured during the lathi charge at one such a protest and died soon after. In March 1929, the Indian National Congress, in its annual session held at Lahore, adopted a resolution which declared the complete the independence or Purna Swaraj from British rules as their main demand for India. The Simon Commission. In 1928, British government appointed the Simon Commission to review the law and orders administration of the British in India. Suggested new reforms. The commissions did not include any Indian delegates, and the commission did not include any Indian delegates, and this angered the people greatly. It was welcomed by angry Indians with a black flag and slogan. What is the slogan? Simon Go Back. The Indian reject that one reformers. The commission did not include any Indian delegates, so all the Indians get angered greatly, and it was welcomed by the angry Indians with the black flags and the slogans, Go Simon, go back. Sadly, Lala Lajpat Rai severely injured during the lathi charge at one such a protest and died soon after. In March 1929, the Indian Congress, in its annual session held at Lahore, adopted a resolution which declared complete independence, means Purna Swaraj from British rules as their main demand for India. Next, the civil disobedience movement and Dhandi march. The main intention behind the civil disobedience movement was to disobey the British laws openly. The British had completely control over the manufacture of salt and forced the people to buy salt brought from England at high price. In March 1930, Gandhiji, accompanied by several of his followers, marched from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dhandi in Navsari on the Gujarat coast. There was a mass participation in this movement by thousands of people, women, peasants, landowners, students, and so on. The civil disobedience movement and Dandi march means what? The main intention behind the civil disobedience movement was disobey the British law openly. Disobey the British law openly because the British had complete control over the manufacture of salt. The forced They forced the people to buy a salt from them. That salt is brought from England at high price. The Indian peoples are not agreed, and in March 1930, Gandhiji, accompanied by several of his followers, marched from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dhandi in Navsari on the Gujarat coast. There was mass participation in this movement by thousands of people, women, peasants, landowners, students, and so on. It is the Gandhiji breaking the Salt Act at Dhandi. Now we'll see the Quiet India movement. The Quiet India movement. The Quiet India movement was launched in August 1942 under Gandhiji's leadership. People echoed his slogan of "Do or die" to win complete independence. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and the Indian INA fought the British valiantly from outside India but were defeated. The Quiet Indian movement was launched in August 1942 under Gandhiji's leadership. People echoed his slogan of "Do or die" to win complete independence. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and the INA fought the British valiantly from outside India, but were defeated. Subhash Chandra Bose and INA fought the British valiantly from outside India, but were defeated. India is free. Now, India is free. After the end of the Second World War in 1945, the British were left with no option but to give India its independence. Although the British followed their policy of divide and rule till the very end. On 15th August 1947, India was declared a free country but was divided into two countries, India and Pakistan. Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first president and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru the first Prime Minister of independent India. The country had its own government and a new constitution was also framed later on. India is free now. After the Quiet India movement, India get free. India is free. After the end of the Second World War in 1945, the British were left with no options but to give India its independence, although the British followed their policies of divide and rule till the very end. On 15th August 1947, India was declared a free country but was divided into two countries, India and Pakistan. One is India and second one is Pakistan. Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the president and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of independent India. The country had its own government and a new constitution was also framed later on. Understood, kids? Here are lesson learning over. Today's your homework is read the lesson, write down all new words in your notebook. Thank you for watching the video.